everybody. Welcome to Nature Stories. I'm Janice. I'm Education Coordinator here at VMF's Volcan Mountain Nature Center. Today, I'm going to tell you a wonderful Native American story called How Hummingbird Brought the Stars. Long ago, before the two-legged walked the earth was always sunny. It was daytime all the time. There was no night and there were no stars. And there were only animals, no people. So everything was fine until one day when something happened between the animals that changed everything forever. It's called fighting and jealousy. Well, it all started one day when the bear went for a walk out in the forest. And up in a tree, Bear saw a great big piece of fruit. And that looked so tasty that the bear climbed up the tree. And on his way, the coyote saw the fruit at the top and he thought, hey, I want that fruit. I want to get it from the bear. And so the coyote climbed up the tree and jumped on the bear's back and pulled the bear down, and together they fell down onto the ground. They started wrestling and made all kinds of noise and commotion, fighting over this piece of fruit. And all that noise went up into the sky, and it woke up Great Spirit. Well, Great Spirit was really disappointed when it heard all of them fighting down there. So Great Spirit looked down on them and took a blanket and he put it over the earth, and all of a sudden everything went dark. Well, the animals that were fighting, they stopped because everything went dark and they couldn't even see the paws in front of their face. So they stopped fighting and they looked around and they were frightened. They didn't know what had happened. Well, there was no more light. So they thought, wow, let's all get together and talk for a little while. So they came together in a circle, in a council, and they invited the eagle to come in. And the three of them thought about what they could do to solve this problem, because they realized that the fighting was selfish. So Coyote realized that he was the one that started it. So he said, I'll go to the top of the tallest mountain and I will ask Great Spirit for forgiveness. They thought that was a good idea. So Coyote went off on a journey and he went to the top of the tallest mountain. And up there, he howled, oh, 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 please, 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 Great Spirit, forgive us for fighting. And Great Spirit did not respond. So Coyote went back home, tail between his legs, saying that he had failed. Well, when that happened, Bear said, okay, let me try it. So the bear went off to the tallest mountain, and Bear asked for forgiveness. Oh, please, please, Great Spirit, please forgive us. I'm sorry we were fighting. But there was no response. So Bear went back, also feeling like he failed. Well, the eagle thought, well, maybe I can go and I can ask forgiveness for you, because I can fly higher. I can go up into the sky. And so the eagle took off flying up into the sky and was able to fly higher than the tallest mountain. And there he asked for forgiveness. Please, please forgive them. for fighting. We won't do it again." But Great Spirit didn't say anything. And so Eagle came back defeated also. Well, the three of them sat together in the dark, and they didn't know what to do. But they thought that if there was a way that they could put a hole through that blanket, that maybe there's light on the other side. So the eagle thought, well, I can do that. I can fly up there. I'm going to do that, and I'll poke my beak through the blanket, and I'll bring the light. And so the eagle, with his big wings, he took off. And he flew high up into the sky, all the way up to the blanket. And he got up to the blanket, but he was so tired. His body was heavy, and he was so tired and exhausted that he fell back down to the earth. And he couldn't do it. Well, then the animals didn't know what to do. But then out of the darkness, they heard a small voice, and it said, "I can do it." And out of the darkness came tiny little Hummingbird. And the animals, they looked at little Hummingbird and they thought, "You're too small, little bird. You'll never be able to fly up there. Eagle can't do it. I'm sure you can't do it." And the little tiny bird, she stood up for herself. She says, "Nope, I can do it. I know I can. Just give me a chance." And they said, "Well, okay." So little tiny Hummingbird, she hovered her wings up to the top. She flew into the sky all the way up to the blanket. And when she got there, with her long beak, she poked a hole through the blanket. And suddenly, a beam of light shot down through that hole all the way down to the ground, and the animals below could see it. And the little Hummingbird started to get tired, and she fell back down to the earth. And she looked up and she said, "Wow, I can do this. I know I can." And she tried again. She flew up she went again. And she poked more holes through the blanket, and each time another stream of light would come down from the sky. And she made many trips back and forth until one last time she was so tired that she finally fell exhausted onto the ground. And they all looked up at the sky and they saw lights. They said, "Wow, look what you've done, little bird." And she felt proud. But she said, "You know what? There's still something I need to do." And they said, "No, you're too tired." And she said, No, I need to do this. We need more light." So she took off one more time. Up to the blanket she flew. And with one last bit of energy, she took her beak and she poked it through the blanket. The light came through, and then she took her head and she put her whole head through the hole. And then she pushed her whole body through the hole, and she flew out onto the other side into the light. And she was gone. Well, Great Spirit, seeing little Hummingbird, felt so proud of her. Great Spirit took her in its arms and kissed her gently, threw her up into the light forever, and set her free. And Great Spirit looking down upon all the animals on the earth, felt sorry for them. And after all the sacrifice that little hummingbird had made, Great Spirit decided to take off the blanket and made it daylight again. And the animals were happy. But to remember Hummingbird, every day, Great Spirit would then bring the blanket back over, and this became day and night. And every night when the blanket was put back on the earth, all the animals would look up at the sky and they could see all the points of light that Hummingbird had made. And they remembered the sacrifice that Hummingbird had made for them, that she did for her community. And all the animals understood that fighting and jealousy really was not worth it. And they remembered Hummingbird every time that they looked up at the sky. And I hope that you will too. When you go out at night and you look up at the stars at night, those stars are there because Hummingbird made a sacrifice for her friends. And that's the story of how Hummingbird brought the stars. I hope you enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite stories. And if you did like this story, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And please join us again next time for Nature Stories. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.